Alright, what's going on guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today I want to talk to you guys about how we can buff the weakest legends in the game. Because as you guys know, in Season 6 we had a couple legends who went from like bottom tier all the way up to top tier. Bloodhound got a massive buff to their ultimate as well as their scan ability, and Crypto also got a huge buff to be able to instantly revive teammates in the drone as well as be able to scan beacons. We also have legends from Season 5 who are still very overpowered, those including Revenant, Caustic, Watson, and Gibraltar and Wraith. I would consider them all like A or S tier legends right now. But then we have the rest of the legends that are kind of in a weird spot and I would say are very underpowered compared to these A or S tier legends that I mentioned before. So I wanted to go over all of these weak legends and basically give you guys some ideas on how they could either be reworked or buffed in the future. But before I get into that, I just want to let you guys know we are super close to hitting 40k subscribers on the channel. If you guys are not already subscribed, please consider doing so. It really helps me out a ton and it would really be beneficial if we could hit 40k in the next couple weeks, man. That would be awesome. But let's get right into this first legend which I want to talk about, and that is Loba. Now when Loba was released, I was super excited for her. I thought she was really fun to play, but after a while I realized that she had some major problems that have still yet to be fixed. The first big issue is that her bracelet still doesn't work on a lot of parts of the map. This is a glitch that has been around for quite some time. It started, I think, in like the beginning of Season 5 on both World's Edge and King's Canyon, and apparently this glitch is still happening today. So that's something that 100% definitely needs to be fixed. I would also like to see something changed to her ultimate. So I believe that her ultimate is in kind of a good spot right now. The ability to take two different items from various loot that's around you is definitely good, and it matches with her role as like a thief in the game, but I would love to have something extra just to give you a little bit of a better reason to play Loba. Like maybe kind of taking what we did with Crypto and allowing Loba to actually take her teammate's banner from the black market boutique would be a really good idea. It would make a lot more people want to play Loba. I think also something needs to be done about her bracelet, because like I mentioned before, most of the time her bracelet doesn't even work, but when it does work, the animation to actually finish teleporting is very long. So it seems like with Loba, you can really only use her active ability defensively. If you want to try to like rush an enemy inside a building or in another location, you're gonna have to actually wait for that animation to be finished before you can take out your gun and start shooting. So, you know, with those small changes, I really think that would move Loba from kind of like a C tier legend all the way up to like a B or an A tier legend. Alright, but let's move on to Bangalore. Now, Bangalore actually got a buff in the last patch. Her ultimate got a shorter cooldown from 300 seconds to only 150 seconds. It was definitely a nice little buff because it didn't make sense that she had a longer ultimate than Gibraltar's ultimate, but Bangalore is still in kind of a weird place. I think she should have some small changes to her abilities or passives that would kind of make her a better pick for Season 6. So one of the first changes that I think should come to Bangalore is that I think Bangalore should be able to better see through her smoke to be able to counter Bloodhounds and digital threats. Because like I mentioned before, Bloodhound is a very overpowered legend right now. There are many people running them, and Digithreat is also a very widely used attachment just because we have the Volt SMG, we have the Prowler, which is still very good in this game. So Digithreat is being used all of the time, and I think giving Bangalore the ability to see just a little bit better through her smoke would definitely make people use it more and probably just be better overall. I also think that since Bangalore is considered like a weapons expert in the lore, that maybe she could get a passive that allows her teammates to craft weapons and attachments at the same time. So as you guys know, with crafting, whenever there's like the daily weapon that you can craft, you have to craft that weapon as well as whatever attachment it gives you separately. So one cool, you know, kind of buff to Bangalore is that maybe she could craft both the weapon and the attachment at the same time. Just saves you and your team a little bit of time to do that, and maybe that passive, you know, could even carry over to the rest of your team, just since crafting has kind of been like the big addition to Season 6 so far. I also don't think her ultimate should slow or disorient her teammates like Crypto's ult. The whole reason that Respawn made that change to Crypto's ult is because many people were using the infinite Crypto ult glitch where you could just spam his ult over and over. So the reason why they did that was to kind of counteract that glitch, and I don't really see why Bangalore's ultimate slows your teammates. I would really like it to only slow Bangalore, or to maybe even give Bangalore a like slight speed boost when she's running through her ultimate, but it definitely should not stun your teammates. Alright, now let's move on to Pathfinder, because I think Pathfinder is in a really good position right now, but his passive is kind of like a filler ability. So if you guys didn't know, in Season 6, Pathfinder's passive was changed so that whenever you scan a survey beacon, you'll actually get a 10% decrease on your ultimate every time he does it. Now, it was kind of like just a change to make up for the fact that both Bloodhound and Crypto can now scan survey beacons, and Respawn even said in the Season 6 patch notes that Path would most likely be changed further down the road, as this is kind of just a filler ability for his passive. So I think one small buff that would make Pathfinder a little bit more unique is allow him to use ziplines and balloons a little bit faster. This would basically allow him to, whenever he places a zipline, he can always be the first one to get the loot, and it just makes it a little bit better because he's less likely to get shot while going on the zipline or balloon. It would also be cool if Pathfinder could grapple down teammates towards him. I mean, this is kind of just a small little change that would make him much more unique and would definitely be very helpful, especially if you're outside the storm and someone's down, you could easily grapple them inside the storm, or maybe if you're in a team fight, you could just grapple a teammate towards you to quickly pull off a fast revive. No other legend in the game has this grapple ability, so adding that feature to him would definitely make him a little bit more unique without making him insanely overpowered. Now, next up, I want to talk about one of the more fun legends to play, but he still lacks a lot of abilities that helps his team, and that is Octane. So right now, Octane's passive is he slowly regenerates health over time. I think it's an okay passive. It would probably work a lot better if that was included in his active ability. So instead of just always regenerating health, maybe every time he uses his stim, he'll just regenerate a little bit of health for like 10 seconds after that. This could basically give Respawn the excuse to give Octane a new passive that might help his team a little bit better. So I think one cool idea for a new passive is if when Octane revives teammates, he actually gives them a small speed boost after he revives them. One thing that I think Octane is very good at in this game is helping teammates who go down inside the storm. I've played so many games where I've had an Octane on my team, and if I go down in the storm, they're always there to throw their jump pad and allow me to get back inside the ring. It's always super helpful, but one way that we could make that even better is to allow Octane to give his teammates a speed boost after he revives them. This is a very unique thing that no other legend does right now, and it would make sense since Octane is the speed demon of Apex Legends, and it would really help in a lot of situations, especially if you're getting third-partied trying to revive someone. That teammate is usually always going to go down right after you pick them up, but if they have an increased movement speed, it would definitely help your team to be able to get out of that nasty situation. Now, the last legend I want to talk to you guys about is Mirage. Now, Mirage is someone who has had a lot of buffs recently, but he's still really not considered an A or S tier legend. I really did like his rework that he recently had. It definitely made it a lot easier to control decoys, and the fact that he can revive teammates now while being somewhat invisible was really useful in terms of his kit. I think with Mirage, he's always going to need tinkering and updates to his decoys just to make them more realistic, because every time we get a Mirage update, he seems to do really well in the beginning, but then people kind of catch on and they start to learn again what is the real Mirage and what are his decoys. So I think adding more realistic stuff to his decoys is definitely the right way to go. I do believe that his decoys should be able to go on zip lines as well as balloons, and possibly even adding footsteps to the decoys would just make his ultimate much more chaotic, which is basically the point of Mirage's ult. You don't want the enemy to have any idea of where you are, and just having that much chaos is really what makes Mirage beneficial to a team. But I think personally there should be a little bit more risk when shooting one of his decoys. There's even some code found in the game files that showed that at one point Respawn was testing a new feature to his ability where whenever his decoys would be shot, it would emit some kind of like flash grenade or stun grenade to harm the enemies. And that's something that I would never want to see in Apex Legends. I think that's just way too punishing of an ability for the enemy. I think instead one idea for Mirage's decoy is that when it does get destroyed, he or his team might gain a 10% ult charge. It's something that would, just be a little bit more beneficial to his team. That plus the fact that he can revive people invisible and do all of this other stuff would definitely make Mirage a top tier legend in my opinion. But the rest of the legends in Apex I think are in a really good spot. I really do think that these C or B tier legends need to be buffed a little bit just to make everyone as balanced as possible. We can't have people like Gibraltar and Revenant just dominating every single game of Apex Legends. I would love to eventually see all of the legends having something unique to them that makes them just overpowered in their own way. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this video, if there's anything you would agree or disagree with, and also let me know what you guys would like to see in terms of the next legend buff coming to Apex Legends. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day. Peace out.